Hello Canada, this is Stephen King again from the Freedom Party of Canada, and we're here with another video for you. This is a very important one. It goes to the heart of who we are and who Canada is as a nation, as well as things happening in the world that are very, very dire and very, very dark. One of the things the Freedom Party of Canada will do is they will ban the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and the World Economic Forum, and we will label them, each one of them, terrorist organizations. Some of you might think, wow, that is really something, that's really harsh. Let's go into it. First off, the United Nations. Originally, the United Nations, which came out of Woodrow Wilson's League of Nations, had very good intentions. Then, in 1992, Agenda 21 was created. Later, in 2015, Agenda 2030 was created. The Freedom Party will sever all ties with the corrupt United Nations. This means any Trudeau deals with the UN to treasonously allow United Nations soldiers on Canadian soil will be null and void, and we will let them know this quite clearly. Dutch political commentator Eva Vlandingerbroek, that's a mouthful, said this: unelected globalists are using the climate scam as a pretext to shut down the global farming industry, leaving people no option but to eat insects and lab-grown meat under the banner of United Nations Agenda 2030. The people behind this want to establish a one-world government, a new world order, the phrase that was coined by George W. Bush, former president of the United States, in which they decide what we eat, when we eat, where we travel, when we travel, who we meet, and what we are allowed to spend our money on. Basically, control over every single aspect of our lives. They don't want us to eat foods that make us strong. They want us to eat synthetic meat created by Bill Gates. They want us to eat bugs. They want us to drink soy milk, so we become weak and obedient, and we do as they say. The World Health Organization. During the plandemic, the World Health Organization flip-flopped on so many items. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. Lock down. Don't lock down. They act nothing like experts and couldn't make up their minds on anything regarding the so-called pandemic. Now news comes out that they want to put in legislation that would give them total control over all health matters in all countries. They aren't even an elected body, and surely not in Canada. To hell with this idea. The Freedom Party of Canada will sever all ties with the World Health Organization and give them no jurisdiction over any part of Canada's health plans. The World Economic Forum. Created by the evil Klaus Schwab in the early 1970s, the World Economic Forum is an unelected body. Funny how that keeps coming up, eh? Unelected. That is basically trying to take over the world. Think Dr. Evil in Austin Powers, and you have Klaus Schwab. He has bragged that the that the WEC has infiltrated Canadian politics, that the WEF, and that at least 50% of Canadians in the House of Commons are members and supporters of the World Economic Forum. I can guarantee you there are quite a few in the Liberal Party, maybe some in the NDP as well. In question period recently, an MP began to ask the Speaker of the House, for the sake of clarity, that all members of the House be identified who have had relations with the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Coincidentally, The speaker suddenly claimed that the video and audio went down when this question was asked, totally avoiding the issue. Corruption runs deep. Klaus Schwab wants you to live in 15-minute cities. By the way, Edmonton, Alberta was already used as a test pilot for one of these 15-minute cities. And be tracked by a social credit system like used in communist China, where you'll receive points for good behavior and penalties for bad behavior. It wants cows eliminated and wants you to eat fake meat and bugs. It wants all rural lands in the country, seized and have you live in high-rise, crowded apartments. And their slogan, the World Economic Forum, you will own nothing and be happy. You would rent everything. This man wants you to be a slave. He is a very evil man, and his whole family is evil. Recently, it looks like Schwab has been stepping down, and his son, I believe, has been stepping into his place to continue the evil. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. Australian Senator Malcolm Roberts dropping serious truth bombs about Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum and its dystopian Great Reset agenda in the Australian Parliament. He said, Klaus Schwab's life by subscription is really serfdom. It's slavery. Billionaire globalist corporations will own everything. Homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture, and everyday citizens will rent what they need if their social credit score allows. Total evil. Here's a list of some of the New World Order United Nations Agenda 21 and 2030 mission goals. Listen to the mission goals of United Nations Agendas 21 and United Nations Agenda 2030. One world government. What does that mean? It means no more Canada, no more United States, no more England, ruled by one person, one evil person at the top. A one world cashless currency, no more cash. One world central bank controlling everything. One world military. The end of national sovereignty. You're not going to have your nation anymore. The end of all privately owned property. Gee, that sounds like communism, doesn't it? The end of the family unit. They want to split up families so that they don't want you being part of a family. They don't want you worshiping God. Depopulation. Control of population growth and population density. Mandatory multiple. I'm going to use the word V. Remember when I used that word V before? It's something that they force you to take. Multiple mandatory ones. Universal basic income. Some people think, oh, that sounds great. Universal basic income. Everybody gets a simple income. What that does is make you lazy slaves. Microchipped society for purchasing, travel, tracking, and controlling implementation of a social credit system like China has. Where if you do something wrong, you can't travel, you can't buy food at the store, you're screwed. Trillions of appliances hooked into a 5G monitoring system. Government-raised children. Yeah, you don't get to raise your kids anymore. Government-owned and controlled schools, colleges, and universities. They'll tell you what to think and what to learn. The end of private transportation, owning cars, etc. All businesses owned by government corporations. The restriction of non-essential air travel. You're never traveling by air again. None of it's essential. Human beings concentrated into human settlement zones in cities. No longer in the country. They want to scoop up all the rural land. The end of irrigation. The end of private farms and grazing livestock. They want to kill off all the cows, so you eat fake meat. The end of single-family homes. Restricted land use that serves human needs. The ban of natural, non-synthetic drugs and naturopathic medicine. The end of fossil fuels. You will drive an electric vehicle if you're lucky enough to drive anything, because if they don't like you, they can shut off your car in the middle of nowhere with the flip of a button. That's the evil UN, United Nations Agenda 21 and a UN Agenda 2030. Total evil. United Nations, World Economic Forum, World Health Organization. All working together to help the globalists and the rich elites like Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, the Rothschilds, to let them take over the world and control you. That's the end of this video. Check out the rest on www.freedompartyofcanada.com. More videos to come, folks.